Miss Mo Better, how are you doing today, ma'am?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Have you had an opportunity to see this video that I have in my background?
I have not.
Okay, please go on mute for me. I want to play it for you so that way you can, be certain of what you're going to be speaking on. 1 second. Ladies, please start using your parents. So I don't date American black men. I have never dated an American black man, and my reasons are quite simple. So a few days ago, I made a video about coffee dates, and I basically talked about how I would never accept a coffee date as a first date. I think it's low effort, and it's just not my thing. Surprisingly enough, and I was genuinely surprised, 98% of the commenters and the people that were upset were American black men. So shocked because I didn't think that video would land on their For You page, but it did. And hundreds of them, hundreds, were crying on my shoulder over the fact that I would not drink bean juice on a first date with a man or with anyone. They were in my comments calling me all types of names, saying that I'm a gold digger and saying that I'm this and that. And then unprovoked, they started attacking me for my looks. By the way, I was so nice in that video. I did not insult anyone in that video, but they were insulting me. They were coming at me for my skin color, saying that I'm too dark and that I shouldn't have any standards. They were coming at me for my Afrocentric features. They were coming at me because I have an Afrocentric hairstyle in. Black American men honestly have this habit of attacking black women for the way that they look, especially if you are a darker skinned woman or you have more Afrocentric features. They will attack you. So the fact that they came at me for my looks unprovoked is not surprising to me at all. So reading the comments and watching the stitches, it brought up a discussion between me and my parents about why I don't date American black men. American black men generally do not value courtship, traditionalism, or even marriage. And I'm not saying that all American black men are like this, but a large majority are. They will berate you, break you down, and take advantage of you. I don't know why, but the sight of seeing a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman, having standards really does bother them. Maybe it's because in their mind, nobody ever talks about this, but they believe black women, dark-skinned black women deserve crumbs. Colorism is real, and they think that we deserve crumbs and that we shouldn't have any standards. I mean, I was getting so many messages and comments saying, "You're dark skinned, why do you have all these standards?" The only reason why that video got them really upset was because it basically told them to do better. And they do not take well at all to being told to do better, as you can clearly see. And it's because they are not required to. They are used to giving women nothing, giving women crumbs, but then receiving the world back. So when they were watching my video, they were so upset. They were like, "Oh, no, no, no. You want me to take you on a proper date? A proper date when all I'm used to is inviting women back to my house, or inviting women on a nature walk as a first date, or inviting women to my car to link and smoke? You want me to actually put in effort? No, I'm not used to that at all." They're literally in my comments saying, "What makes you think you deserve a meal? You need to prove yourself." And when American black men say that you need to prove yourself, that just basically means you need to go through hell and back with him. They don't want to put in the effort because they're lazy, they are entitled, and they are cheap. And don't get me wrong, it's not all American black men that are like this. It's just a large majority. And that is a problem because the majority of black American women prefer black American men, but there are not enough good black American men to go around. All right, Miss Mobetta. So I want you to speak what your thoughts are on, what you heard her say. And respectfully, you're older than us on this panel. You have lived a lot more life and have a lot more dating experience. So I want you to speak on what your experience has been dating American black men. Have a lot of them that you've dealt with tried to court you? Have they just tried to, like, get in your pants? What has your experience been with American black men?
Okay. So first off, we gonna cool on using that whole a lot of times because you said a lot of you got a lot of experience. You got a whole lot of years on the yeah, okay. Hey, hold on. We ain't got to do all that. Okay, so okay. I ain't that damn old. I ain't Maxine Waters old. Shit. Okay, I'm 48. Okay, I ain't ready to run for president. Okay, so first off, I hate to break it to that sister, but it that ain't a dark skinned isolated problem. Woo! Yeah, because I'm gonna have to tap in and Xerox that experience on her. Yeah, she's gonna be very sorely disappointed to find out that yeah, you can bleach it, baby, and it's still gonna be the same experience. Okay. Second, with the whole coffee date, jeez, Louise, listen. Here's my thing to the whole coffee date argument, right? Why would you want to trap yourself in a condition with a caged animal confined in his wallet to a meal with you, and he doesn't like you, and now he's confined in his pocketbook, and he doesn't like you, and he has to pay? Now he's angry. Why would you set yourself up for that? In my mind, right? If you have not set the stage and you are clearly on the very same page with this individual, and you very, very, very clearly like each other, why would you go in to that type of situation? It's a setup. No good is gonna come of it. To me, the coffee date is the closest to neutral situation. Because look, let's keep it a bean, let's keep it a buck. He's doing it because he doesn't know if he's that interested in you. And ladies, listen, they are not all that very interesting. You need a quick exit plan as well. Okay, so it's not an L. So to me, this whole angst around the first date not being a dinner only really comes into play if it's somebody that you have literally met off rip, and you have no idea of who this person is, and you have just said, oh my gosh, the body is banging, yes, let's go. And it's like, you don't know who this person is, you don't know if you like them, and so now you lay out all this money, and then you discover it's a horrible human being, but in a very pretty package. You played yourself. You can't be mad at that person for that. That's how I see the whole dinner, thing playing out, and, the person having an issue. You played yourself in that situation. Definitely on the man's side, because he feels he got shorted out of the money for the dinner or whatever. And, ladies, listen, to a certain point, we know. I'm not saying it's our fault. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, however, is we know if we've gotten to that point of whether or not this is really a true shot at getting to know and getting down the line with this particular gentleman. So it may or may not be advantageous to take that dinner date. That's all I'm saying. So for her to say all of that and whatever, and to link it to skin tone and all the rest, that the skin tone thing, honestly, that's bullshit. But definitely there needs to be more context and more discussion before you decide the full outlay for that full meal. That's it. That's all.
Thank you, Miss Mobetta. I'm gonna have Devontae and Air Force High speak, and then we're gonna have a couple other topics, quick topics that I want to hear everyone's opinion on. So, Devontae, go ahead, and then Air Force High, we're gonna come to you after that.
Yo, Big Noble, long time.
Long time, man. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I see my brother in the comments as well. Guys, I am not coming out of retirement. Okay, I got some time to spare. I'm out of town right now, so I'm blessing you guys and with my presence. in my face and some content, but I am not coming out of retirement. Make sure you are subscribed to the link in my bio, okay? Devontae, you are an American black man. What are your thoughts on, what this woman had to say in this video? Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, my main thoughts, it kind of feels like we're getting to that point in time where it feels like women, and not all women, but it feels like we're getting to that point in time where women are more obsessed with the gesture of the man versus the actual character and quality of the man that it's made of. Because one thing I have an issue when it comes with dates is that when it comes to her case, she doesn't believe in relationships. I've actually, before I make any judgment calls, I always watch someone's content, go through like 3, 4, maybe 5 videos. There are a lot of TikToks like a minute long, so I always spare 5 minutes. So she doesn't like really care for the relation ideology. Like she feels like, getting in a relationship, taking your time, moving in, actually seeing if like the relationship's gonna work. Like for her, she dates with the intention of marrying. But my issue is like the way that kind of gets set up doesn't make sense to me, because it's like I can hide a lot through dates. Like it feels like she just wants to go on a bunch of dates and get courted, but the main step is going to be the big step, which creates like a really weird dynamic, because it's like I can hide a lot through dates. Like I can date you out of convenience. It's like if I live in like a shoe, like say like I only make X amount of money, but like I date you out of convenience, meaning like, hey, I save up for these dates, because it seems like dates now are going from like 150 to 200 to 300 to 400, and then I just date you out of convenience. Hey, I get paid this week. I'll take you out every single time I get paid when it's convenient for me. Like any person who is either desperate enough or want to can pretty much hide behind this like ideology, like I got my shit together. So that's where it's like, okay, you don't know me for real. Like you don't know if I'm good mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. You don't know if we have shared vision, shared conflict resolution skills, like things that are actually going to make sure that we're going to work. It's more like you're interested in like, okay, like I paid really well for a date, and then that's it. So I think just the whole ideology on trying to make it like a race thing is also just kind of a reach, because if you look at her following, it's kind of small. So it's like it kind of feels like we're doing the content, the rage baiting of, hey, let me say like 4 or 5 things, and then let me get the fan base. It kind of felt like a grab of, hey, this is what I think. Because like my issue is like to say it's the majority when you might not have even dated the majority. And then if everything is as much as you like, if everything is true, why are you still at square one? Like how can you sit here and tell me because it feels like we're getting to that point where everybody knows everything, everyone knows what they wanted, know what they need, but they're still single. How does that work? And that's my plan.
Mind you, this woman said that she's never dated an American black man. She has no interest in dating them. So you got to also think like this woman is speaking on something that I don't know. She might think that she knows about it, but she's never even dated an American black man before. So like you said, I just think it's a lot of rage bait, as well.
She reminds me of that white girl that did the whole N-word thing, but this is just for Africa.
Hold on, Emmanuel. We're coming to you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Devontae, were you done before we go on to Air Force High?
Oh yeah, I'm done. That's it.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend my money the way I want to. If you don't want to come, don't come.
Oh, actually, Mo Better, I know you had something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. From part of what I heard him say, immediately you have to save up, or if there's some serious financial impact to you taking a woman on a date, that's a date you do not need to take her on, because you are immediately setting yourself up for either an expectation or implication or something that it's going to be a problem. So if that is a financial burden or thing that you have to do something in order to meet, that is immediately something that you ought not even consider venturing into. Period, point blank. That needs to be something for either a later date or a different woman or something else. That's immediate red flag, abort mission, do not continue further. And listen, I'm gonna jump out the bag a little bit. Look, because I date women too. And I'm gonna tell you honestly, fellas, look, I'm not coming out my bag for that. And so I understand how the draw is to want to do that. It will never work out in your favor. Just stop doing it, fellas. Stay in what's comfortable for you, because think about it. You want someone in a relationship with you to be comfortable with you. Why then would you start out at the outset taking her into an environment, a situation where you're already not comfortable, i.e., out of your financial wherewithal, to begin the track with her at the outset? That you're setting yourself up for failure, literally. So don't even do it. Stop it. That's it. That's all.
And can I reply real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm generally just trying to say is like depending on your age, because it feels like is like taking. It feels like we're getting to that point where we care more about like the expense and the of the date versus like actually sitting down and getting to know your partner or future possible partner to see if you're like compatible. Like there are dudes who will fake like they got it just so they can get to you, and that's just the reality of how it is. But I'm also sitting here saying like that's just how the process could be. Like dudes just take you out of convenience when it's good for me. Granted, I'm not sitting here saying I do that. I'm just saying that is a thing that happens, especially because it also depends on, you know, how young you are. Like if you're in your early 20s, you're not making a lot of money right out the gate unless you're already into a career path. So like even Christina, she's saying how much you spend equals the amount of effort. Well, I think it really just depends, because you can have a date that's very inexpensive or like decently expensive. Like I don't think things should have to be a car payment. Like I don't think you should go out with one person and it's two of y'all and you spend $400. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why do the dates have to be so extravagant for the first date if we're not actually going to connect? And Yogi, I'm not trying to clean up. I don't get tax returns. I haven't had a tax return since I was 18. I've been living on my own since I was 18. I drive trucks for a living. So come
May I
back.
say something, please?
Come back.
Okay. Hope say something really quick, and then Sonia say something, and then we do need to get to Air Force High.
I just want to say that I think that it's very unfair to think that this entire generation feels like we have to go on a date for $400, because that's not the case. I think like there are examples in every generation where there have been people who are like, I will not go on a date with you unless you take me to X country club and we have lobster and salmon roe for dinner, right? And then there have been other people that don't like. I don't think it's a monolith. Like, so I feel like it's not fair to talk in monoliths, which was the premise of my whole point, even when I spoke on this topic.
Go ahead, Sonia.
Okay, I'll be quick. Christina, I disagree with what you said. I don't think the amount of money is the amount of effort. You could plan a picnic and be very intentional. You could do a bunch of things that you put a lot of effort in that don't cost a lot. And then two, I really need y'all to stop shaming women for wanting more than you want to provide. I think if she does not like coffee dates, that is okay. If she's not a coffee person, she does not want to be taken to a coffee shop, that is okay. Maybe she just doesn't, that's not how she rolls in real life. That like we need to get to the point where we stop painting women in this negative light. Oh, she just wants this, she wants you to break the bank, no, that's just not her thing. And it's okay. That's not how she rolls. That she's never gone on a coffee date. She doesn't want to. And that's okay. And you're the person that wants to go on a coffee date, go find a girl that wants to go on a coffee date. Period. Let's stop painting
Period.
those women in a negative light. I think it's very weird.
Can I respond to that real quick, host?
Yeah.
Hold on, hold on 1 second. Let me just say a couple things so I can hop myself back to my happy life. Um, that young lady primarily dates white men, so I never understood why she felt the need to say black men don't care about love or pursue marriage and all that other stuff. You like dating Billy and John and Chad who are gonna date you for an experience and take you to Cold Stones, and you're gonna be perfectly happy with that. All right, let's just leave that as that. Two, the expense of spending money on a date, to be frankly honest, is did you pay attention to what she was telling you what she enjoyed? Because an expensive date don't mean anything. When you got it, an expensive date don't mean nothing. I just spent that because I was going to spend that on myself anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's if you know, okay, cool. She likes to go out. She likes to do this. She likes to do that. Okay, you set up a date that has her own those interests that you both mutually enjoy. Boom, that is a high effort date because I was paying attention and I used the vital information you gave me to set something up that I knew that we both would like. That is high effort. Spending a lot of money on a date is you just trying to show off that you got it. But 9 times out of 10, you had to do a cash advance or ask your friend for the money. Let's just be honest about that. Like women that feel like as if coffee dates are not up to their standards are the same ones that if you stop and have a conversation with no distraction, 9 times out of 10 you realize this girl is more dull than a book with no cover on it. Let's just leave that as that, right? You can't carry a conversation. Your personality is bland. Everything has gone into your looks. You don't know how to carry anything else besides from your looks. That is why a lot of times certain women run away from coffee dates because you don't have the distraction of everybody else. You don't got the waiter. You don't got this. You don't got that. Coffee date is me, you, your personality, and everything has to show right then and there. Within that 30 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, I can take that and go to, oh, let's go down the street and go to that axe throwing place. Oh, let's go bowling after this. It can go, a coffee date is just an entryway to us going to on other mini dates further on if everything goes well. And that's what people don't understand that. Coffee date is like a screener. It's the same way when your job calls you before they give you do the real interview, they go through some screening questions. That's all a coffee date is. And a lot of people don't want to be screened out of the possibilities of being able to be taken out on a date in the first place. That's what I see. But that's just me.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
You know,
Go ahead, no better, and then we're moving on. Go ahead.
the
Actually,
problem.
Christina wants to respond after you, and then we're moving on.
So the problem isn't the coffee date itself. The problem is the misapplication of the coffee date, which it follows the problem across the board. In general in dating of the intentions of the general decent individuals versus the crappy ones. So so I'm gonna venture to say, and I'm going to use a little bit of my personal experience with it, but I'm going to venture to say more often than not, when ladies say this, it is because, and I understand that for the fellas, they're using it, as you said, it's that screening process to say, hey, are you even someone I think I really want to go further with? Yeah, you seem cool in the intro conversations, blah, 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 whoop de whoop. But, is this really, really, has this thing really got legs? A lot of the coffee dates are really punani screening sessions. And at the end of it, it's like, hey, so, let's hit the Momo or come on over to my house at the end of it. And that's what women are like, nah, I ain't going to coffee date, because what you're not going to do is buy this cup of coffee and then ask me for bouteille at the end of coffee. If you gon' ask me for that, you can at least purchase a meal. I tend to think that that's where that's coming from. That's just my take.
Okay, Christina, you're gonna speak, and then Air Force High. We're gonna move on to the next topic. Air Force High, I want you to speak on the next topic. Itzy, you can say whatever you want to say when you speak on the next topic. So Christina, you're gonna respond, and that's it. We're moving on to the next topic. Air Force High, you're gonna speak first on the next topic, and then Christina, and then Chad, and then Issy, and then Damo, Sonia, Mo Betta, and then Devontae. So go ahead, Christina, and then we're gonna move on.
Hey, Sonia, so to your point, I was just agreeing with Devonte when I put that the amount of money equals the effort because that seems to be kind of like a running theme. I don't necessarily subscribe to that because I met my husband on a coffee date. So I love coffee dates. I think they're great. But what I wanted to say was I also agree with Devonte's point. I think a lot of what old girl was saying in the video, I do think it was rage bait. I did a deep dive on her page. She has a whole video on her page of how Black women can be more attractive to YT men. And she tells us, like, don't wear the 30-inch bust downs, don't put color in your hair. I mean, it was very anti Black. So I knew where she was after I did the deep dive. I was like, oh, okay, this is what's going on here. But as far as coffee dates, and back to Sonia's point, I don't think anybody should be shamed for not accepting a coffee date if that's not what they want to do. But at the same time, for the women that do accept coffee dates, that doesn't mean they think lowly of themselves. That doesn't mean they don't love themselves. That doesn't mean that they don't know their worth. I think we can all have our preferences either way, and we shouldn't be shamed for
Okay, thank you. We are moving on. So again, uh, Fat Boy, what's good? What's good, OG? I'm out of retirement for a couple hours. So I'm going to play this audio, and again, we're going to go to Air Force High. Then we're going to have Christina speak. We're going to have Chad speak, Issy, Damo, Sonia, Mo Betta, and then Devontae. Okay. Got a couple more stuff for us to touch on. So here's this audio.